Welcome to episode 55 of The Weekender.
Made it to 55 already.
Already, it seems like forever.
I know. What should we talk about today?
Let's talk about the previous 54 episodes.
Yeah, the GLDR elections were like 10 of them.
Oh man, yeah.
Are you glad that's over?
I am. That was a crazy trip.
Oh well, congratulations for your win as president. Are you excited?
I am excited. I'm very excited. And I've just been really appreciative of all the support and all the people that have reached out and congratulated me. And all the support I had in running, I owe that victory, if I could call it that, to a lot of people. A lot of people put a lot of effort out there and said a lot of good things. So
I was surprised at how many nice things they said about you.
Me too.
I was pretty impressed. I mean, it's kind of cool to go through that process, and you learn a lot from it. I mean, you get to talk to people you don't usually communicate with. You get to meet agents you don't know, and I think that whole thing.
I met a lot of people I didn't know. A lot of great people, actually. And then you hear a lot of different stories. And,
Sure.
And I'm already starting to get a few complaints, so that's cool.
Yeah, right away. My email is, in case you know, I think it was one of the best experiences of my life, and I think that you'll enjoy it. It'll be great, and the board itself is an interesting dynamic. I mean, the issues that they talk about, the amount of passion that people get heated behind this. I mean, we watched Facebook unfold over the last 2 weeks, and just anger and hate and excitement and love and passion for our industry. But at the end of the day, all these people are trying to do good things to keep our industry moving forward, which is cool.
Yeah, it is cool. But now I don't know what's going to be coming through the news feeds now. But I was a little tired of all the campaign flyers and everything. But it was a cool experience to go through that election. The right people, I think, are on the board. It's going to be a good few years. So
yeah. And for those that are out there, that are thinking about running, I think the most important thing is it's not a just easy, quick, you get on there kind of thing. You do have to kind of understand a foundation, a platform, and why you're running, and you've got to get out there and get the brokers to support you and get in front of a lot of agents, and so it is a process. And now you won't even be president until 2022,
right?
Because of course it's Tom's year, he's finishing, then it's Aldo's year, and then it'll be your year, and so you've got the prep time to do it. And so if you're thinking about getting involved at GLDR, this is the man to call right now, because pretty soon you and Aldo will be picking committees and chairs, and Aldo will be picking his chairs.
I think it's starting next week. So
wow.
Yeah, so they reached out to me today, so we're working on trying to get a time to sit down and start setting that stuff up for next year. So
do you have a theme in mind? Well, no, seriously, the first question they asked me was, what's your theme going to be? And I'm like, my theme, and like Keith Lynham's was, beneath all is the land. He ripped that off of some book somewhere. And Tom's was, Dave Tina's was change is coming, and I was going to make the joke and say, well, change is here. And I think Tom actually did something like that. And then everyone said for 2020 it should be, vision, because 2020 vision, that would have worked out well.
I ran on that. That was on one of my postcards.
Yeah, I hear it. That's okay. But yeah, so think about your theme.
All right. I got a little bit of time to figure that out. So if you have any ideas, comment below.
Yeah, absolutely. So before we go on, I want to take this opportunity. Today is a special day in my family. It's actually my grandmother Louise's 92nd birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
Yeah, it's my mom, Patty's mom, and big influence in my life. And I'm the cool person I am because of her influence. And she got into real estate when my mom was here in real estate in Vegas, and so did it for a very short period of time. But she's actually a nurse, retired nurse.
Wow.
Yeah, so 92 years. Can you imagine what's happened in 92 years? It's a lot of time and a lot of things that have happened and gone by, but pretty impressive.
That's pretty neat, yeah.
So happy birthday, Grandma.
Here's to another 92.
Yeah. So what do you want to talk about today? We have some pretty good topics from this last week. You want to talk about some changes in the market? And
yeah, I mean, let's just jump into one of the big announcements this last week. Zillow was opening brokerages, right?
Who's Zillow?
I don't know.
So
I think it's a website.
Yeah. So Zillow opens a brokerage, and I think the thing is that initially the way it was rolled out in a lot of the presentation pieces is it's about their iBuying phase, and they're going to hire agents to help manage that. Mm-hmm. And so I could understand the reason behind it. I mean, Open Door has a similar model where they have on-staff people that are actually going through that process. You have thousands of properties. It's a lot of work.
It is, and I think a lot of people get scared. Change happens and they don't know what to expect. I think this is actually probably a pretty good thing for Zillow, and a good thing for us too.
I think that a lot of times people look for the conspiracy in a lot of things, and I think it's not great that one of our biggest suppliers for most agents of online leads is now going to be a competitor. Okay, that sucks if that's where your business comes from.
Right.
But if you built your business from stable communication with a good database of clients, you're in front of them, your clients are loyal to you, you're loyal to them, and you have a good business from that, I mean, are you really going to be affected?
No, I think you have to build your book of business, and you got to take care of your clients and your customers, and if you do that, you'll survive.
I think people are scared about the innovative part, right? So Zillow now is creating a seller opportunity, and they're able to really market a seller of all the things they're going to do. Then, will it cause the seller to pick them instead of the traditional real estate choice? And I think the whole thing is it'll make everyone up their game.
Yeah.
Right? Innovation breeds creativity, right?
Yeah. Makes you better.
Makes you better.
So, but then the other thing is it puts us on a level playing field with them on the IDX feed too.
Yeah.
So now they have to play by the same rules that we play by, and then we also can put away this conversation of withholding the data from them.
Yeah.
Because now they're going to get exactly what we get, and it's just a level thing. So again, if you provide a higher level of service, you'll survive.
A lot of our competitors believe that this is going to, change the world. And I've seen innovation like this before. I mean, we've had multiple changes in this field, and all it's caused really is for either agents to engage and work harder, or people to step back out of the business and just try to get it the easy way. And it doesn't last. You don't get the easy way for very long.
Well, if it never changed, we'd still be looking at the MLS and books.
I like the books.
Right? You did like the books?
I remember being at Inman about 5 years ago, and I think you were there at that time, and one of the executives from Zillow got up on stage, and Keith Lynham and Tom will remember this, and he said, every lead generated online was the failure of a real estate agent to contact their database. And so I think now more than ever, no matter what your business is from, you need to really take the time to get your database where you need it to be, to get your client base where you need it to be, to make sure you're communicating with them, and you're asking for business. You're out there pounding the pavement.
That's a great concept, because if you're taking care of your clients and you're staying in touch with them on a regular basis, they're not going to go to the internet and look
Sounds
for
like a
something else.
sales-based business, doesn't it?
Right? It's crazy.
But one of the cool things that I got to take part in this week is I got to take part in the online Mike Ferry Superstar Retreat. Have you ever been to one of those?
So I noticed you had that going on for
Yeah.
your team in the office there, and it was pretty neat. I know my son was in there, Tyson.
Yeah, he liked it a lot.
Yeah, he's hooked.
I think the interesting thing for me, and this is kind of the same conversation we just had about Zillow, is Mike Ferry has been talking about the same principles of a solid real estate foundation and a plan, and he's been doing it for 45 years, and all the people that have been doing it with him are pretty successful. I mean, most of the Mike Ferry agents I know got a good book of business, they've got a stable business.
Yeah.
And so I think the whole thing comes back to having a plan, following a schedule, doing the activities, and not hoping to get it the easy way.
Yeah, the plan's the big thing, and we're going into the fourth quarter, and it's a perfect time to work on your plan for next year.
So, because of COVID, I think the big point is a lot of agents have taken this time off. They took off the first 9 months of the year. They're going to be going into the holidays, and so they're going to think it's really easy to take that off. And I would argue the opposite, that now more than ever, it's important that you're working right now as hard as you can. I mean, all of those things that you said you were going to do that you haven't gotten around to, do. Yeah. Get it going, and if you have a great end of this year, which the market's hot, there's a lot of people out there looking to buy and sell, and if you're engaged in it, you could have a great first and second quarter of next year.
It's going to be a good year next year.
I think so.
We're going to come out of quarantine.
Did you see the Facebook post that said 2021? 2020 is the trailer to 2021. No. I hope not.
It gets better.
Yeah, it's got to.
So Andrew's got a question on here. He says, "Open house is coming?" Question mark. Question mark. So
let's talk about that. So on the state level, I gave a lot of props to Tom Blanchard for opening the dialogue with County Commissioner Kirkpatrick on open houses, and he literally talk about lead follow-up. I mean, Tom is every day, on it to lead follow-up with it, and it's a process because you've got to get the governor to add it to a directive. He's got to actually sign it and put it out with the other items that he has, and so we're doing a lot to try to ensure that that's in that process and it's on its way, but it's statewide. Yeah. And so that means the real estate division, the Department of Business and Industry, the governor's office, his chief of staff, all of those people have to be involved in that when it comes to the directive. It's not as easy as the COVID task force just approving it. It's got to go all the way up the chain. And so we're hopeful that it's going to happen soon. I know everyone's been asking when. Well, we're closer now than we've ever been before.
So I've had questions. Who's fighting for us? Who's doing? It's being worked on. It's really the big
daily,
thing, right?
Daily. Yeah. And I know I've got a text just a minute ago from Tim Kelly-Kiernan asking, have you heard anything, about open houses? And actually yesterday I was sitting on a call that said that we're in review. We've submitted a letter on behalf of the state to outline the process and the procedure to make it easy. It was signed by myself and Tom. It's gone to the governor's office, and so that was their last piece that they wanted to, kind of help with that. Tenant occupied showings are one of the other things that we're really fighting for, because the argument, why do realtors need to hold an open house? And I think it comes back to best use for the seller for that property. The more people we can get into it, the more non-traditional online lookers that we get physically touching the property, the more likely they are to sell it for a higher price. And so it's just a way to engage the public. But not being able to show tenant-occupied homes is really hurting the market too.
It's really hurting the market, and I think it's hurting homeowners that have tenants in there that aren't paying their rent.
Yeah.
Because not only are you not collecting anything, you can't even. They made it really difficult for you to sell your property too, so you can't even get out from under that. And then who's going to buy it anyway when you got a tenant in there that won't pay rent? So.
Well, that's the whole point. And I think the interesting perspective now is I could meet the tenant at a bar for a drink as long as we have our face masks on, but I couldn't meet them at their home to show it. And it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, especially if I could understand if we weren't a regulated group of people that didn't have a set plan in place, that we didn't have brokers willing to engage and police their agents, we didn't have agents committed to the outcome because they want it to happen. We have all of those things, so there's no reason other than logistics and getting it done.
Soon. But no, not
Soon.
yet.
Not yet, yeah.
So, what else?
I just don't know what's going to be on Facebook this week. I mean, I was all those flyers and all those platforms and all the calls from people I never hear from, and so now we'll have to pay attention to the real election in the United States.
That'll be fun. So
yeah,
I'm just going to leave town next week. So.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Where are you going to?
I'm going to go down to Destin, Florida. Satima Nolly, who's actually going to be the speaker at the general membership lunch coming up.
Yeah.
So I went through Immersion that he put on and joined what he calls a Circle of Champions.
So, for the benefit of the people out here, I'd never heard of Immersion before I heard it from you, and I didn't really know anything about it. I thought you and a group of guys got together and beat the hell out of each other, and that's not what it is, right?
No, they beat the hell out of you.
Yeah. So tell everybody a little bit about Immersion and what it was and why you went through it.
So it's like, it's a 4-day experience that there's a lot of physical in it to kind of, I don't want to say break you down, but tire you out so you open up. And then there's a lot of mental stuff that you're working with the group of guys, or they have one for women too.
The one for women is called?
Shield Maiden.
Shield Maiden, okay.
And the one for men is called Titan.
Gotcha.
But I went to it not for me. I went to it for the guys I went with. A bunch of us that worked together. I went because they were all broken, not me. I quickly found out down there that I had my own issues to work through as well. Nothing serious, but a lot of things are just getting clarity.
Sure.
And once you have clarity, then you can progress.
Well, it makes sense that you learn about yourself when you're in that process. And I've had a number of friends now that have gone through similar programs. And I think you're right. They've come back, changed people, better people for it, and it kind of reveals what you really care about in life and what's really important to you.
It's sometimes that question of what do you really want is a hard one to answer.
I want open houses.
I want open houses. I want to show tenant-occupied properties.
But I think that's an interesting thing that in real estate, for real estate salespeople that are watching this, we go through a lot of skill building seminars and conventions and trainings and designations and all of those things to become better, and sometimes the better part is you that needs to be fixed, not your ability to sell. And so
100%.
Kind of interesting.
You get out of your own way, right?
Yeah.
So that's where I'll be in. Hopefully I can remote in and we'll do a remote
That would be cool.
broadcast.
If not, I'll have to get a special guest, someone to come on and be as interesting as you are.
Won't be hard.
So hey, again, another great week. Congratulations on your win in the election. Really, I know that you'll do a great job, and I think what I saw is the people that are on that board with you, pretty passionate people that are going to be committed as you are to making it happen. And good luck, and
Thanks.
We'll see how you are.
I think I might need it. Immersion was nothing compared to the board.
Yeah,
so.
That'll break you down easier.
Anyway, thanks a lot, guys, and we'll catch up with you next week.
Feel the change coming, it's closer every day. I feel the waters rising.